In conjunction with the Britfield players, we the kids are proud to present Britfield and the Lost Crown. This radio show is designed to bring to life a powerful story promoting the themes of family, friendship, and courage. The Britfield radio show is meant to engage and entertain you with an inspiring story while offering a fun family experience. The setting is a special library, special because, well, often the readers are visited by authors from the past. Today, we'll visit with kids from We the Kids who are studying to be journalists, focusing on past history. An author from the past has just joined the group, in fact. Let's listen in to find out who the kids are talking to and what they're talking about. Have fun exploring the world of Britfield and the Lost Crown.
Hello, Alice here, your We the Kids reporter here in London. The old library is a grand high-ceilinged room with rows of tall bookshelves that stretch all the way up to the vaulted ceiling. The air is thick with the musty scent of old books, and the soft glow of lamps casts a warm, golden light over the space. A group of kids ranging in age from 8 to 12 sit in a circle on the floor, their eyes wide with excitement and curiosity. Charles Dickens, resplendent in his top hat and coat, enters the room with a flourish, his eyes twinkling with warmth and wit. He is a tall, imposing figure, but his kind face and gentle smile put the children at ease immediately.
Good morrow, my dear young friends. I do hope you are in good health and high spirits. I must say, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to converse with you. Pray, tell me, how do you find the world today? Is it not a vastly different place from the one that I knew in my youth?
I'm Mallory. We are the We the Kids Liberty Players. You must be Charles Dickens. And what I've read from your books, the world is much different in some ways and very similar in others.
This is Merritt. We are the We the Kids Liberty Players.
Well, I must say I'm delighted to make your acquaintance. I hear that you've been enjoying the company of the esteemed Miss Austen. And I must confess that I'm intrigued by the prospect of meeting such a lively and inquisitive group of young people. Are you familiar with any of my books?
This is Libby. It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dickens. Oh yes, one of my favorites is A Christmas Carol. Not only do I enjoy reading this story, I especially like watching the movie. I am so glad that Mr. Scrooge finally learned that being a selfish, money-hungry person is not a good way to live.
Yes, indeed. Scrooge did learn that. Some of my most famous novels include Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, and Great Expectations. These stories often explore themes of poverty, class, and social justice, and I hope that they will continue to inspire and educate readers for generations to come.
Wyatt here. Oliver Twist reminds me of the book we are listening to today, Britfield and the Lost Crown. They are both stories about orphans and their adventures and experiences of leaving the orphanage.
Ah, I see that you are a reader of books, are you not? Well, I must say I'm a great lover of literature myself. There's something about getting lost in a good story that is simply irresistible, don't you think? So, dear listener, I dare say that you are now sufficiently apprised of the tale that is currently unfolding. Shall we continue, or would you prefer to pause and reflect upon the narrative thus far?
Yes, sometimes. I'm Afton. I get so lost in the story, I forget to do my chores. At the end of each session of Britfield and the Lost Crown, I can't wait for the next chapter. Can you stay and listen to the story with us?
I remember reading tales of adventure and bravery, of love and loss, and of the human spirit's ability to overcome even the greatest of challenges. These stories inspired me and gave me hope, and I hope that they may do the same for you. But these children seem to need our attention. So yes, I will stay and listen.
Hello, Mr. Dickens. My name's Aaliyah. Tom and his friend Sarah escaped from the orphanage run by the evil Mr. and Mrs. Grievous. We learned that Tom, an orphan, just found out his parents might still be alive. He's so excited that after all these years, he may be able to see them again.
Mr. Dickens, I'm Sammy. The police are trying to catch them.
They're trying to return them to the orphanage.
Ah, my dear young friends, I see that we have a lively group of children here, eager to share their stories and their dreams with us. I must say that I'm delighted to be a part of this gathering, and I'm more than happy to stay and listen to the adventure with you. As the inimitable Miss Austen declared, so do I, Charles Dickens, declare, with a nod and a wink.
Hi, Mr. Dickens. My name is Jack. I noticed that your stories seem to start out with a challenge, and then there ends up being an adventure. But then there's a happy ending. I hope Tom and Sarah have a happy ending.
Mr. Dickens, it's me again, Merritt. I hope Tom and Sarah have a happy ending too.
This is author C.R. Stewart. Enjoy listening to Britfield and the Lost Crown, a fast-paced, exciting adventure that will transport you from the smoldering crags of Yorkshire through the heart of England and finally to the magnificent shores of Dover. One of the most awarded books in fiction, Britfield is about family, friendship, and courage. This presentation is in partnership with We the Kids, a national organization that has inspired hundreds of children by involving them and their parents in exciting radio, TV, and on-site projects.
As Sarah pulls Tom forward, Gowerstone talks into a walkie-talkie.
They're headed for the main entrance. Apprehend them gently.
Realizing it's a trap, Tom abruptly stops, sees the fire alarm, and pulls it. The deafening bell creates panic throughout the train station that sends everyone to the entrance. As Tom and Sarah cleverly exit a side door, a policeman rushes to Gowerstone.
Sir, they didn't come out the front.
These two are intelligent. We must never underestimate them.
What should we...
Get after them. They'll head for the village, then the countryside. Set up a perimeter around the area and move in.
Leaving the town, Tom and Sarah hurry across a moonlit field and plunge into a vast marshland of 6-foot Norfolk reeds. Rain begins to fall, soaking their cold bodies.
Who is that guy? Detective Gowerstone. He caught one of my friends about 7 years ago. He's a legend in the orphanage circles. Seems to always know what you're thinking and where you'll go. Like tonight.
Policemen slog through the marsh in a wide line. Flashlights are seen dancing in front of them, their voices growing louder as they scour the area.
Quick! We need somewhere to hide!
Tom sees a towering silhouette against the rain clouds.
What is that? I don't know. It looks like a hot air balloon.
An elderly man sits in his truck nearby, waiting for the weather to change. Tom and Sarah carefully approach.
Let's jump in. Maybe the police won't see us.
Glancing at the soaring balloon secured by 4 ropes, Tom and Sarah climb into the basket and duck down. 2 large propane tanks are attached to a corner. Metal tubing extends from the tanks to a burner unit, suspended under the opening. 2 knotted ropes dangle down. Policemen advance from all directions, flashlights combing the field.
Over here! They found us! I can't go back to Weatherly, Tom. I just can't.
Standing, Tom starts untying one of the ropes.
Maybe you don't have to. What are you doing? Are you nuts? Help me if you don't want to get caught.
Realizing their predicament, Sarah springs to the other side and unties the second rope. As Tom begins undoing the last 2 ropes, a policeman flashes his light at the basket.
Okay, you two. Get out of there.
As the last rope snaps free, the balloon launches into the air. Flabbergasted, the policeman looks upward. Bolting from his truck, the elderly man rushes over.
Hey, that's my balloon! Get back here!
Carrying an umbrella, Detective Gowerstone soon arrives as a policeman hurries over.
What should we do, sir?
Depending on how high they go, most of the currents move southwest. About 15 knots. Now, get my balloon back! I'm supposed to be at the festival today!
Dispatch teams to the neighboring towns to see if the balloon touches down. It's 2 a.m. If Tom and Sarah continue their course by 6 a.m., they'll be about 60 miles southwest.
Ah, right. Got it.
I want you to station officers at Doncaster, Sheffield, and Manchester. These will be our southern bases. Have them report anything they observe, and keep the local lines open for reports of balloon sightings.
Sir, isn't this a lot of work for 2 escaped orphans?
Just do it. Now, get me to the nearest airport.
The balloon rises in a turbulent rain cloud, then breaks free into a clear cobalt sky. Blazing stars ignite the heavens, the clouds beneath washed in a dreamy sea of moonlight. While Tom peers over the side, Sarah crouches in a corner, terrified.
We barely got out of there. For a minute, Sarah?
I told you, I hate heights.
Right, I forgot. You're missing some great scenery. Stand up so you can see it better.
Tom offers Sarah his hand.
No.
Well, if you're afraid.
Feeling challenged, Sarah glares at Tom, then reluctantly pulls herself up. She tries to get her balance, hands clasping the basket. She looks over, then quickly draws back. The balloon continues to soar thousands of feet upward.
That's odd. Look, ice is forming on the ropes.
Tom, the balloon isn't stopping. How do we stop it?
I don't know.
Tom scrambles around, looking for a switch or a lever. He then grabs one of the two knotted ropes hanging above him and yanks it. A bright flame blasts and propane ignites the balloon.
Stop that! You're making me go higher!
It's not like I'm a balloon expert.
Tom quickly pulls the other rope. Hot air escapes and the balloon begins to descend.
It's working! Keep pulling!
Tom continues yanking on the rope as the balloon stabilizes.
Any idea how to steer this thing?
Sure, I took ballooning classes at Weatherly. What do you think?
Just asking.
Tom notices a storage bench and opens the lid.
Look, there's a jug of water, binoculars, a few tools, some ropes, and wooden stakes. This could be handy.
Shouldn't we land somewhere?
It's too soon. We'll only get caught. Let's wait and see where it drifts.
As the hours pass, the sun slowly rises and the beautiful countryside appears. Rolling grass fields, farms with animals, crystal blue lakes, castles, large estates with mansions, villages and towns, church steeples, and red-tiled rooftops. Sarah gradually overcomes her fear as she looks onto the horizon.
The scenery is beautiful. How far is London?
Removing his compass and map, Tom examines them.
I think about 150 miles, but we need to be moving southeast, not southwest.
What's wrong?
I really hope once we left Weatherly, we'd be safe. But this Detective Gowerstone, he's a real problem. He won't stop until he captures us.
Then we'll stay one step ahead of him.
That won't be easy.
I know, but think what we've accomplished. You rescued me from the attic, we escaped from Weatherly, and we got away from the police. I think we're doing pretty good.
You're right. But we need to figure out how to steer this thing.
What about this?
Sarah reaches up and moves a metal funnel in a circle. Intrigued, Tom begins to fiddle with the contraption.
Maybe if we move this switch down, turn this contraption in the opposite direction, and pull the propane rope, it'll move the balloon forward.
That could work. Then again, it could catch the entire balloon on fire.
Do you hear that? There's something coming towards us.
Tom grabs the binoculars and looks through them.
It's a helicopter!
Sitting in the passenger seat of a helicopter, Detective Gowerstone views the sky through binoculars. He and the pilot both wear headgear with a microphone to communicate.
Sir, I see the balloon. That's them. Aim for it and get as close as possible.
If we're gonna figure out how to steer this, now's the time.
Tom flips a lever on the exhaust funnel and turns it toward the helicopter. Sarah then yanks the exhaust rope. The balloon jolts forward.
Can we go any faster?
Open the valves on the tank. Maybe that'll work.
Sarah turns both tank knobs. Gas hisses through the tubes. As the balloon accelerates, they abruptly swing backward.
Sir, it's turning and moving faster.
So, they've figured out how to pilot the balloon. Increase your speed.
We'll never outrun the helicopter. It's too fast. What do we do?
Seizing the binoculars again, Tom scans the sky.
Over there, by the hills. There's balloons. Hundreds of them.
Sarah yanks the binoculars from his hands.
It must be a festival.
In the air?
Where else are you gonna have a balloon festival?
Right. Let's head in that direction. Maybe we can blend in.
Sarah moves the funnel in the opposite direction, and Tom pulls the rope. Gowerstone closely watches from his binoculars as the pilot continues.
We must get closer.
Impossible. We're not allowed to be within 1 mile of the hot air balloons. The turbulence from the blades disrupts them.
Then hold your pattern. We'll track them from here.
Gowerstone looks at the map, then gets on the radio.
This is Detective Gowerstone. We've tracked the balloon to Oxfordshire. The propane should be running out shortly. The orphans will probably pick a major area to land, so get a team over to Oxford University. I want a few officers dressed in plain clothes and placed at the bus stops and train station.
Sir, I'm getting complaints from the other balloon pilots.
Fine. Take me to Oxford.
Tom gives the balloon a long blast of hot air while Sarah peers through the binoculars.
I don't see the helicopter. Do you think he gave up?
No, he'll never give up. But we do seem to be safe for now.
Tom rummages through his pocket and pulls out a piece of paper.
What's that?
When Mr. Grievous questioned me, he said a name. I wrote it down. Britfield.
Britfield? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's your last name.
Maybe.
What do you really know about your parents?
Nothing. My first orphanage was Edmund Briars. Before that, I only have vague images. I'm not sure if they're real or just dreams.
And they never told you anything?
No. If I ever asked, they got angry.
That's odd. Someone must have brought you to your first orphanage.
Those are the memories that seem distorted.
As Tom pulls the rope, one of the propane tanks sputters. He turns the knob and jiggles the tank.
It's empty.
Empty? I guess we didn't think about that.
And the other one's almost out.
We've got to land quickly. What's over there?
Tom looks out, then views his map.
It looks like Oxford University.
Okay, let's find an open field to land. Aim for that farm.
Hastily fiddling with the overhead funnel and propane tanks, Tom works feverishly to control the balloon, but it drops rapidly.
I don't think we're gonna make it.
Tom, look out for the buildings.
Brace yourself.
The balloon crashes over rooftops and smashes chimneys. The impact sends Tom and Sarah tumbling inside the basket, knocking Tom to the floor. The balloon heads directly toward a large stone barn. 5, 4, 3, 2. The basket hits the ground, scraping a track in the soft turf, and stops inches from the wall. As the calm settles, Sarah looks around.
We're okay. We made it. I saw that barn and thought, Tom?
Blood drains from her face as she crawls over to his lifeless body. She gives him a shake, but nothing happens.
Tom, wake up!
Frantic, she clutches the jug of water and douses his face.
What the? Why did you do that?
Relieved, Sarah hugs him firmly.
You're alive.
Of course I am. Why are you hugging me?
Hearing the police whistle, Tom wiggles free from Sarah.
We need to get out of here. Help me secure the balloon.
Tom grabs a hammer and rope. Sarah grabs 2 stakes. After securing the balloon, a policeman arrives.
Hey, you two, don't move.
Startled, Tom and Sarah run across the farmyard, through the surrounding trees, and onto High Street, downtown Oxford. Christmas wreaths and colorful lights decorate the lampposts. Students walk back and forth carrying either books or a backpack. The policeman tries to find them, but loses them in the crowd. Hidden in the shadows, Tom peeks around a corner.
I think we lost him.
I think we lost ourselves. Where should we go now?
Let's find a train station.
Don't you think they'll be looking there?
Possibly, but we've got to risk it.
After waiting a few minutes, Tom and Sarah head off. Stationed at Radcliffe Camera, Oxford, Gowerstone examines a detailed map pinned to a wall. Personnel hustle back and forth, carrying folders.
Sir, we just received reports of a policeman chasing 2 children by High Street. Extraordinary luck. You knew exactly where they'd be.
Deduction isn't luck, Sergeant. It's logic. Understand your opponent, analyze the circumstances, and mathematically figure out the conclusion.
I meant...
What's the update?
We found the balloon and have 2 policemen guarding it.
The children, Sergeant.
Yes, of course. We're searching every street, store, building, and college. We'll find them. We've a net slowly closing in.
Tom and Sarah cautiously approach the train station. Several adults and students are waiting at the platform. 2 plainly dressed men talk to one another.
I don't see any police.
It seems too easy, doesn't it? Could be a trap.
We'll be careful and sneak onto the next train to London.
As they survey the area, Sarah notices 2 men looking at her.
Tom, those 2 people keep staring at me.
Tom glances over. One of them speaks into a small radio receiver while moving toward them.
Run, Sarah, run!
The plain-dressed policemen spring after them. One grabs Tom's shirt, but he breaks free. Tom and Sarah continue up St. Aldate Street across the road to Christ Church and duck behind a building. Students hasten back and forth to various activities.
I don't see them.
I told you Gowerstone was a nightmare.
How do you know he's behind this?
Trust me, he's here.
I guess we can't take a train to London. Every stop will be watched.
And walking is impossible. It's at least 60 miles. We need help.
Back at Weatherly, Mr. Grievous anxiously marches around the office. Mrs. Grievous sits in a chair with her face buried in her hands.
It's been a day since those miserable brats escaped. If they fall into the wrong hands and start telling people about this place, it could mean real trouble.
No update from Detective Gowerstone?
No, nothing. Why hasn't he caught them? They're just 2 kids. How hard could it be?
We shouldn't have treated them so well. It's time we take matters into our own hands.
What if Gowerstone finds out we're interfering?
He won't. Now get Speckle in here. He's an excellent tracker. He'll find them.
Later that afternoon in Trinity College, Oxford, Professor Hainsworth sits at a table correcting stacks of papers.
Hour by hour and day by day, all I do is grade and grade. When will this tedious nightmare ever end?
Dr. Randolph Churchill Hainsworth III is a celebrity in the academic community, with doctorate degrees in physics, mathematics, and British literature. Promised a sabbatical 3 years ago, along with countless vacations, he still hasn't received any time off. Stressed and overworked, he's plagued by endless days of teaching and grading. He longs for a break, for adventure, for anywhere but Oxford. Outside the campus near Trinity College, Tom and Sarah reappear, desperately looking for somewhere to hide. Students walk back and forth to classes.
Now where?
I don't know. Just keep moving.
Suddenly, a police officer sees them in the distance and starts running towards them. As Tom and Sarah hurry by Trinity College, Sarah trips on a cobbled walkway and falls. In pain, she clutches her ankle. Tom stops and runs back, kneeling by her side.
You okay?
No, it really hurts.
Can you walk?
I don't think so.
Put your arm around my neck. I'll support you. Maybe we can hide in one of these buildings.
Tom gently grabs her waist and lifts her up. They hobble to a row of doors. Tom tries each one, but everything is locked. With nowhere to go, they huddle in a doorway. Policemen are seen combing the area.
I'm sorry, Sarah. It looks like this is the end.
It's okay, Tom. We did our best.
The door behind them opens, knocking Tom in the back.
Pardon me, terribly sorry. I was headed outside for some fresh air.
Oh, sir, you've got to help us. You got to hide us.
What's this all about? Who are you? What's wrong with her?
She twisted her ankle.
Then get her to a hospital.
There's no time.
Hainsworth notices the police nearby.
Are those officers looking for you?
Yes, sir.
Why? What have you done?
It's complicated.
It usually is.
Please, sir, can't you help us?
Hainsworth is conflicted, but sympathetic.
All right, get her inside. Quickly.
Thank you.
Tom helps Sarah through the doorway, and Hainsworth follows. A minute later, an officer hurries to the area and looks around. Gowerstone follows behind, examining the buildings.
We lost them. I know they're here. Search every building in Trinity College.
We'll scour the entire campus.
Dear young friends, gather round and listen closely, for I have a tale to tell that will make your hearts heavy with sorrow and your minds ponder the darkest depths of human nature. But my dear children, do not be afraid, for it is in the face of such calamities that we find the truest tests of our courage, our compassion, and our commitment to one another.
Good show, everyone. I'm your We the Kids reporter here in London, and we're delighted to have had you join us for another episode of Britfield and the Lost Crown. Do join us next week, won't you? Cheerio, and thank you for listening in.
We hope you enjoyed our interpretation of Britfield and the Lost Crown. The podcast for you to share will be available on americaoutloud.news/We the Kids and wethekids.us websites. And also, we have an exciting gift for you. Anyone who makes a donation on our We the Kids website will be entered to win a signed copy of the Welcome to the World of Britfield trilogy series. There will be 3 drawings held on December 15th. You can purchase the series at wethekids.us. And please remember to include We the Kids in the memo. We invite you to join us next week for the next segment of Britfield and the Lost Crown. To learn more about Britfield adventures, please visit our website at wethekids.us. Happy holidays from all of us at Britfield Adventures and We the Kids.